Hello, my name is Higashino from Z Engineering. For the past 42 years, we have been working with steam traps. During that time, we have seen steam systems in many different factories. This YouTube channel is not meant to defend or promote Orifice traps. Instead, we will talk about the real problem that's actually occur in steam system in the field, and how we have tried to find answers to those problems through our work on site. That is what this channel is about.
2023. We received an order for 500 units from a tire factory in China. The engineers at the plant tested our traps for 1 full year. After that test, they decided to adopt them. But in the end, the order was never approved. The decision came from headquarters. The reason was simple. Because it was an orifice. That was the only explanation. There is a common belief about orifice traps. People say they do not work, and in some factories, problems have actually happened. Mechanical traps can operate in many situations. In most cases, they can be installed almost anywhere. But orifice traps are different. There are places where they work, and there are places where they should not be used. If the conditions are wrong, problems will occur. Where they work and where they do not. For many years, this difference was not clearly explained. That responsibility belongs to the people who supplied them. Manufacturers, distributors, and also us at Z Engineering. We have supplied orifice traps for many years. We cannot avoid that responsibility. In factories where trouble must be avoided, orifice traps were sometimes installed in the wrong places. The conditions did not match, and problems occurred. Those failures stayed in the memories of engineers, so the conclusion spread. Orifice traps do not work. This YouTube channel is not here to defend orifice traps. Instead, we want to explain something very simple: where they work and where they should never be used. I have supplied orifice traps for many years. Because of that experience, I believe it is my responsibility to draw that line. I have visited many factories, not only in Japan, but around the world. Different processes, different heat exchangers, different ways of using steam. And in those factories, I have spoken with many engineers. One thing surprised me. In many plants, the reputation of orifice steam traps is extremely low. People say things like this: orifice traps do not work. Temperature becomes unstable. Condensate does not discharge. They clog. I have heard these comments many times. Some engineers actually used them and decided they did not work. That is true. I cannot deny that. But when I asked more carefully, I discovered something else. Many people who believe orifice traps do not work have never used one. Even so, they are convinced it cannot work. This situation is more common than you might expect. I have installed orifice traps in many factories, but not every installation was successful. There were cases where they did not work well. There were cases where problems occurred. Those facts are real, and I cannot deny them. But there is another side of the story. There are many factories that have used orifice traps for decades without problems. In one petrochemical plant in Singapore, the same orifice has operated for more than 30 years. It has never been replaced. In a paper mill in Japan, more than 10,000 orifices have been running for over 15 years. They have not failed. In a tire factory in China, more than 500 units have operated for more than 5 years. Almost no maintenance was required. Engineers there say things like this: they never break. We do not need replacements. Maintenance is almost unnecessary. Management became Much easier. Some engineers even say their steam consumption decreased by more than 10%. These results are also real. So why does this happen? Why do some factories use orifice traps successfully for decades? At the same time, many engineers believe they cannot work at all. I believe the answer lies in what factory engineers value the most. For factory managers, the most important thing is not energy saving, and it is not new technology. The most important thing is simple. The factory must continue operating. Production must remain stable. Nothing is more important. Today, mechanical traps are widely used. They can operate under many conditions, but orifice traps are different. There are clear conditions where they should be used. If those conditions are ignored, temperature may not rise, product quality may be affected, and if production stops even once, that memory remains. After that, the conclusion becomes simple. Orifice traps do not work. This is a problem on the supplier side. We did not clearly say where they should not be used. That is my answer. But if an orifice trap is used under the correct conditions, the result is very different. It does not break. It does not require replacement. Maintenance is almost unnecessary, and steam leakage does not occur. Under the right conditions, an orifice trap can become an ideal steam trap. So, the question becomes clear. Where can it be used? And where should it never be used? In the next episode, we will explain those conditions clearly.